Hi, everyone. Really happy and excited to talk about this trip. I've already done it a couple times, and I can't tell you how wonderful this Upper Amazon experience is. You're looking at one of our most veteran expedition leaders, Cindy Manning, taking her picture with a bunch of kids from one of the river communities, and I think you'll find that the expedition team on these trips is really exceptional. Not only do we have a number of our senior expedition leaders, but as well the local naturalist guides are absolutely, well, they're very special people. They're all grew up in the region that we're visiting. They are all of the river in a sense. They've spent their lives there. They all, in the same vein, have great English, so you don't have a problem in terms of understanding anything that they say. Their knowledge is extraordinary and encyclopedic, both in terms of knowing what we see, but more importantly, they can relate it to their life experiences. When you look at a tree, they'll tell you that their people in their village, their family, their mother perhaps may have boiled up some bark from that tree and given it to them when they had a bad cold, or looking at some of the other plants or the animals. They can tell you all kinds of different, really personal experiences they have with them, and I think that makes just a tremendous experience for all of us. On the trip, we have 3 guides, and we fly from Lima to Iquitos, which is really once a great city for rubber and other things up on the upper Amazon. Now it's a little bit more sleepy, and then we go from there to Nauta, which is a very small city, and that's where we actually embark the Delphine II and start our explorations. And we also end at Nauta. Our departures, as you can see, are 10 days, 9 nights, a week on the river, and you will become truly intimate with the river over the course of that week. It is an amazingly wild place, especially the upper Amazon. I had, for years, done trips on the lower Amazon in Brazil, which I absolutely love, but when I started coming to the upper Amazon, I think you'll find it is an extraordinarily wild place. You are in an area that has been virtually untouched by people. We do see people there in small, isolated villages. Occasionally we'll see some small canoes going by, people who are fishing, but clearly this is not a place that is home to many people, nor have those people had much of an impact. One of the fun things that we do is to go out at night, in the evening at least once, and we bring spotlights, and we have ways using the eye shine, for instance, from this caiman to spot the wildlife, and we almost always have an opportunity to see some of the nocturnal animals as well as the daytime animals. The animals that we see, bird life, the Amazon is famous for that, but the mammals, and especially the primates, are amazing. We see troops of squirrel monkeys running through the trees regularly on this trip. The monksaki, a much quieter, a solitary monkey, is often seen as well. And the howler monkeys. If you've been to the New World tropics, you've probably at least heard the howler monkeys, and we certainly hear them regularly. And we also get a good chance and opportunity to see the howler monkeys. And I think one of the greatest ironies with these animals is they sound and look so fierce, but they are strictly vegetarians and very docile animals. And then the sloths, I think everybody's favorite, the 3-toed sloths, are such quiet, docile, gentle animals. And at first you wonder how the naturalist guides, the local guides, actually locate these animals in the trees, because they move so slowly, barely moving at all, and their coloration is is beautifully camouflaged. But once day 3 or 4 comes along, I think we all find we start spotting those sloths in the trees. They're very common. And in the water, I think for most of us, one of the most exciting things to see are the river dolphins, especially the pink dolphins that we see, and the gray dolphins as well. We see them very regularly, and we see them when the tributaries flow into the major river itself, and they seem to like to feed right in that area. And we always make sure when we're out in the skips that we devote plenty of time to just being in amongst the dolphins and watching them and appreciating them. Things like butterflies and other insects are abundant. Having said that, one insect that isn't terribly abundant is the mosquito. We don't run into them much at all, to many people's surprise, but certainly one of the great treasures is to see the blue morpho butterfly, as we have on the right-hand side. They're absolutely spectacular. And this is always a big treat. When we go out and we make a point of getting to a spot where we can see the great Victoria water lilies, massive, a normal-sized person, a 6-foot person even, could lie on one of those pads and not touch either end. Their diameter can be well over 6 feet, and extraordinary, beautiful, beautiful flowers as well. And you often see fields of these great water lilies, amazing plants. And of course, the bird life in this area is beyond description. And you don't have to be a birder like I am. It's just a spectacle when you see all of the variety of birds, and some of the most spectacular birds you'll see anywhere in the world, like these macaws. You hear them coming from miles away, and when you get a glimpse of them, they just absolutely knock your eyes out. And the kingfishers, the different types of kingfishers in this area are just wonderful to watch. And this bird, I think, is one of the most spectacular birds you'll see anywhere in the world. The Jabiru stork stands taller than a person, huge bird, massive in terms of weight as well. And we often will see them at the river banks right where the tributaries meet the main river, and we can see them in the scores sometimes, huge flocks of them. And then some of the I think a lot of people would say birds that most people don't think of, certainly the toucans as we have on the right, and the one on the left is a potoo. P-O-T-O-O. It's something that we hope to spot at night during our night outing. You can see its eye shine there, and they sit so still they look to be generally like they're part of a branch or a tree, but they're a nocturnal insect eater, the potoo. And you can see this is so typical when we're in the skiffs. And the skiffs, by the way, are very comfortable. We'll take a look at those a little bit later. But the guides are just exceptional at pointing things out. And again, they're very good at sharing both local knowledge and general things such as their name and their natural history. But they make sure that we all get a good chance to look at things. And again, the abundance is just really beyond description, such as this flock of neotropical cormorants. One of the things I think that really distinguishes this voyage, this exploration, is not only the natural history, but we do go to a couple of the local villages. Some of the villages are home to some of our guides, and we meet some of the local people and get a chance to interact. And it's I think they are just as curious and appreciative of us as we are of them, which really makes the interaction very rewarding. The villages there, some of them now even have modern conveniences such as street lights. They run generators now for a couple hours in the evenings, and you can see they're built very local materials. Thatch roof is really the way to go. And very attractive villages, really. And the people are wonderfully friendly. The kids come right up to you as well as the adults. And the adults are very, very open and happy to share their skills, showing us when they do catch fish, for instance, how they go about dealing with the piranhas to make sure that they don't get bitten when they're cleaning them, and a lot of the other just day-to-day skills that they use, they share with us. There's also a marketplace, which is really, really rewarding to go to. It's a local women's cooperative who make and sell the crafts. These things, many of them are displayed or in use on the ship, but they're not sold on the ship because we prefer that you deal directly with the people who make these crafts. And again, it's very rewarding to actually talk with somebody who has made the product that you're going to buy or have your picture taken with them. Very colorful and all kinds of really creative designs. We make a point of doing a school visit. One of the things that we love is meeting the teachers, especially the kids. The kids just, they're so excited to see us, and often we have an exchange of gifts that perhaps some of the guests bring, paper or pencils, things like that, that we bring and give to the teacher to share with the kids. And it's one of the highlights. The kids almost always come up with a song, and it's not always the same song that they greet us with. And it's something that I always look forward to on this voyage. As with all of our expeditions, the photo opportunities are really extraordinary. The lighting can be amazing, especially because we make a point of going out early in the morning and late in the afternoon when the light is best, and of course that's also when the wildlife, the birds and the mammals are most active. So photography here is a real big part of what we do on these trips. The way we get out is a little bit different than some of our other ships. Rather than using Zodiacs, we have skiffs that are well designed for going up the tributaries. They're very fast, and they provide excellent viewing opportunities. We have enough space for all of our guests to go out at once. Every skiff also has a local guide. So it's a very, very nice situation when we get out there. Very easy and good viewing. We also, you can see getting into the skiffs here, very comfortable. They'll give you a hand if you need a hand, but very, very easy with the steps. And each seat, again, has excellent viewing, and that's, I think, one of the real important points about these skiffs. Going out at night, and again, all of the guys are local to the communities, have grown up in communities right around the area, very small river communities, and again, we go out at night at least once looking for different bird and other type of wildlife. One of the things that just about all of us put right at or near the top of the list is we go into what's called a blackwater lake. It's a very freshwater blackwater, not because it's polluted, but because it's typical for areas where the organics don't all dissolve. It's a very nice freshwater area, and we take a swim. In this lake, there are also some of the pink river dolphins. We don't often get to swim right next to them, but we do often see them while we're swimming, and it's a real highlight and, of course, incredibly refreshing to be in that wonderful fresh water in the middle of the Amazon rainforest. Being the upper Amazon, like I said, I think for me one of the highlights after having spent many years traveling on the lower Amazon is it is much wilder and I think more accessible. The lower Amazon is so huge, magnificently huge, but this, you can actually kind of get your arms around the size, even though it's still the greatest, largest river in the world. The ship itself, the Delphine II, is a magnificent ship. It's just absolutely elegant, and it's certainly the most beautiful ship on the Amazon. Each of the 14 suites have fabulous amenities, but for me the real highlight is they all have these huge windows that you can look out on the river. No matter which suite you're in, you've got an extraordinary view. And again, the amenities are really fabulous. This is, again, looking out of a different suite, but they're all that same view, which is just compelling. You can take a little midday siesta, leave your drapes open, and just look out at this unbelievable, magnificent scene of the Upper Amazon. The ship's the interior and much of the exterior is native hardwoods that are taken from sustainable sources, as is the philosophy of everything about the ship is things are done in a sustainable way. And I'm sorry, we seem to be stuck on a slide right now.
There, I think the slides are moving on your connection. They may have stopped, but we're actually showing some slides of the food and the dining room and the bar area, so it's moving forward a little bit.
Okay, all right. Well, that for whatever reason, it's not showing on my computer.
Yes.
The food, I think, for many people is one of the biggest surprises and treats of the whole voyage. It is absolutely gourmet and beyond description. We have lots of local foods and prepared in a local way, but also in a way that is completely accessible to our taste. And I think you'll find that the food will be an unexpected, very, very large highlight of the experience on the Amazon. The top deck, if we're in that area now on the slides, the top deck is a great place to spend much of your time. I love going up there as we're going along the river, looking out. Again, very, very comfortable. And again, what is a surprise to many people is we're not besieged by mosquitoes. A lot of people think of the Amazon as being a haven for mosquitoes. It's not at all uncomfortable. There are hammocks up there. Of course, the bar is available. Very comfortable chairs, a nice library as well.
Okay.
To combine, and I apologize if I'm not up on this in sync with the slides, to combine with this trip, there are other places again that we visit. Machu Picchu is an extraordinary spot. You don't need me to tell you how wonderful Machu Picchu is, but I think our visit there, the way it's set up, I was in on the designing of that original itinerary, is we get the best of the best, and I think that trip to Cusco and the Sacred Valley is well worth it. Certainly a highlight for me.